What's up, everyone? Welcome to episode 3 of Threemo Podcast. I'm your host, Krue, and this is my co-host.
What's up, guys? I'm Ollie Quinn. As you know, welcome to episode 3.
Today we're going to be talking about Paramore. This is the not-so-brief history of Paramore. So let's dive into it.
Let's get into it.
For sure. Yeah, let's pop. Just so everyone knows, we do have notes down on our computers, so we're probably going to be looking down at them for quite a bit. Before we get into Paramore, I do want to talk about Hayley Williams just real quick. Before Paramore, she actually was signed to Atlantic in 2003, was it, Ollie?
Yeah, 2003.
Yeah, 2000.
And she was signed as a solo artist
as
well.
So they wanted her to be like a pop star, like a kid's pop star or whatever. But she had different plans. She wanted to start her own like alternative, like pop punk or whatever you would call their music. That's what she wanted to do. So she moved to Tennessee after her parents got divorced. She started a band with Zach Farrow, Zach's brother Josh Farrow, and
Yep. Jeremy? Is it Jeremy Davis?
Jeremy Davis was the original bass player, but then he had left right before recording All We Know Is Falling. I discovered Paramore from the song Pressure. Was that your first song?
No, that wasn't my first song, actually.
What was yours?
It had to have been something off of Riot, I'm sure.
You think it was Riot?
I don't think I started listening to For All Those Falling. Is that what it's called?
All We Know
For
Is
All
Falling.
We Know Is Falling?
Yeah, came out in 2005.
Yeah, I didn't start listening to that album until after I had already heard songs from Riot.
Oh, okay.
So I think probably my first introduction into Paramore would have been Misery Business.
Probably. That's crazy.
Yeah.
My first one was Fuse TV, and they did that cool thing where Zach and the bassist did like the back-to-back flip thing in the rain. It was so cool. But anyway, it was in the music video, and then I saw it on the music video, and then when my band was a band, I ended up doing it with the other guitarist on stage because we stole it from him.
Nice, that's awesome.
But anyway, yeah. So if you were a fan of the album, For All We Know Is Falling, it was released in 2005. It had some of my favorite songs by Paramore, which would be Pressure. I just mentioned that. Emergency, which was the second song I just discovered by them, and then All We Know. That actually, it failed to enter the Billboard 200, but it was mostly categorized as a pop punk album. The album received mostly positive reviews and was labeled a scene classic, and like quotes on the scene.
From my notes, which are very small considering my lack of investigation into this.
We only prepped for about an hour before we did this. So
if that, dude, I really didn't prep at all. I'm such a procrastinator.
I was making ramen with my computer next to me, and I was like...
Okay, so Riot was released on June 12th in 2007, which was a long, long time ago. It's crazy because that album is huge. That's like one of the most well-known albums in the emo pop punk scene. It's insane. As most of you know, its most notable song was Misery Business. Everybody knows that. Other songs, including Crush, 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 that debuted on television as the next single from Riot. So that's kind of cool. That song was really good. Oh, damn. I didn't know that. They were on the cover of the February 2008 issue of AP, Alternative Press.
Love AP.
Yeah, definitely. Very good magazine. I've got a couple of issues on my shelf. So in early 2008, Paramore toured with Jimmy Eat World, and they headlined the Give It a Name Festival in the United Kingdom, which that's kind of dope. Their second studio album, and they're already doing like European tours. It's very, very cool. The band released a live album named The Final Riot on November 25th, 2008, which included a bonus DVD with full concert footage in Chicago, which kudos to you, Krue. That's kind of awesome.
What's up?
As well as a behind-the-scenes documentary, so that's really awesome.
I really want to look into that now.
I know, I kind of do too. It seems really interesting. But as of April 9th, 2009, The Final Riot, which was the title of the album, or the behind the scenes live album.
The live album, yeah.
Certified gold in the United States.
I think wasn't that the album that they were going to get? So the band was nominated for Best New Artist at the 50th Annual Grammy Awards on February 10th, 2008, but they lost to Amy Winehouse. But that was after Riot. That was right after Riot was done. All right, so this next part is a little bit controversial because it has to do with the Farrow's brothers. So I'm just gonna read like verbatim what the notes say, which most of them I got from Wikipedia.
Yeah, it's probably best to do it that way, just so we don't convolute anything and spread misinformation. Hell yeah.
All right, so let me figure out where I'm gonna start here.
That's fine. Also, guys, while Krue's looking up his information here, we want to know your first Paramore experience. When you first heard them, why you liked them, which one of their songs was your favorite songs, and why. So if you guys can tweet us or comment on the YouTube video and let us know, that would be really, really awesome.
Yeah, Paramore wrote and completed Brand New Eyes in early 2009. The first single from the album was Ignorance, which is actually my favorite song on the album. It's one of my all-time favorite Paramore songs ever.
Really?
Oh yeah, dude, that's a banger. And the music video is so cool. She grabs a light bulb and she like starts singing into the light bulb that's like hanging from the ceiling. It's so cool.
Hell yeah, that's really dope.
Yeah, so on December 18th, 2010, a message from Haley, Jeremy, and Tyler was released through Paramore.net stating that Zach and Josh, which if you guys didn't know, they are brothers. Zach plays drums and Josh was the lead guitarist, backup vocalist. He did a little bit of screaming in the EP in between Riot and their first album. And he was like one of the heavy songwriters. We're leaving the band. The band also confirmed that the South American tour would still happen. Josh Farrow wrote a statement on the departure on his Blogger, which I didn't know was a website, claiming that the band was a manufactured product of a major label. He accused Hayley Williams of being manipulated by her management, treating the rest of the group as her solo project, and claimed she was the only member of the band who was signed to Atlantic Records, while her bandmates were simply riding the coattails of her dream. On December 30th of 2010, MTV News interviewed Hayley Williams, Davis, and York in Franklin, Tennessee, regarding their reaction to Farrow's response. The band members confirmed many of Farrow's statements, notably that Hayley Williams is indeed the only member of the band that is actually signed with Atlantic. They added that they felt the statements were irrelevant and claimed that they had addressed many of the Farrow's critiques already throughout the source of their career.
Damn, dude.
Yes. It doesn't...
That's kind of gnarly.
It is kind of gnarly.
And how is that possible? Like, how can she... Like, if they're a band and a unit and make music as a band and a unit, how is she the only one that was signed to Atlantic?
Well,
like, how is the rest of the band profiting off of that? Is she the only one that's making money? Because that seems really sketchy.
Well, no, because they make all the tour money, too. And
that's true, but like...
And she's the only one that was... I think her and Josh were the only ones that were writing music. But...
Okay, but still, like...
If you think about it, Caleb Shomo is the only one that's signed to... What is he, Tooth and Nail? I think Caleb Shomo... Yeah, so Beartooth is actually...
Yeah.
Caleb Shomo is the only one that's signed to Tooth and Nail. And...
Really?
Like Ashi Lights from City Lights, the bassist, and all the other members, they are Beartooth. They are part of the band, but he's the only one that's signed to the label. The rest of them make... I mean, they still make money, like touring and doing whatever, but I don't think that they make like song, like the stream plays and stuff. He writes all of that. So I think that he performs it in the studio. So I think that he's the one that makes the money. But I don't know. Because I'm sure she doesn't play the drums
on
the album. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I'd like to do some more research into that, to be completely honest, because I want to know how that works and how they get their revenue from that. Because it seems like one person out of the band being signed to the label doesn't do much for the rest of the band members.
So we made some mistakes in the podcast. Not some mistakes, just we overlooked some things. First thing is we forgot to talk about their self-titled album, which was one of their most notable albums ever. Just so everybody knows, former Lost Prophets and current Angels and Airwaves and Nine Inch Nails drummer Ian Rubin was confirmed to be their session drummer for recording the album. Here's some stuff about the album. Paramore was officially released on April 5th, 2013 and was number 1 at U.S. album charts Billboard 200. The first single from the album was titled Now. It was released online in January. And the second one was Still Into You, which I think was phenomenal. That was a great song. Then the third single was Daydreaming, which was released in December. And the fourth single was Ain't It Fun, which I think that song in particular gets stuck in my head so often. Yeah, dude, great song. So then it became the band's highest charting song in the United States and winner of Best Rock Song at the 57th Annual Grammy Awards. All right, last thing for things that we overlooked is that they had an EP called Singles Club that was released in between their self-title and Brand New Eyes. Hey guys, real quick, I made a mistake. Beartooth is not signed to Tooth and Nail. Beartooth is signed to Red Bull Records. Sorry about that. Let's get back into it. After Riot was released, just want to let everybody know, the bass player returned, the one that left in the beginning. He returned, and now we are going to talk about, Ollie is going to handle why he left again.
On December 14th in 2015, bassist Jeremy Davis left the band. In March 2016, Davis was involved in a legal battle with Paramore, claiming to be eligible to enjoy the benefits of business partnership with Hayley Williams as a co-owner of the band. This was quickly dismissed, and he was again involved in a legal battle with Hayley Williams and Taylor York over a breach of contract, entitling him to ownership and authorship of songs of their self-titled recording, including Ain't It Fun, and again claiming to be eligible to enjoy the benefits of the earnings the two received from these songs and album. And apparently, he reached a settlement with the band in April of 2017. But during this period, Hayley Williams later revealed that she suffered from depression and mental health issues following the departure of Davis, as well as a divorce with her ex-husband, Chad Gilbert. In an interview with Zane Lowe on Beats One Radio, she described it as torment and mentioned that she didn't laugh for a long time. As a result, Hayley privately left the band for a short period in 2015 and briefly leaving York as the only remaining member of the group. Damn, dude. That's wild.
That is insane.
He was in 2 separate legal battles with Hayley Williams, and she claimed that she was depressed and had mental health issues. Which, shit, man, like, we all go through that.
That's insane.
That's rough, yeah. That's really rough. Could you imagine, like, fighting with your friend legally in court? Someone who you've made music with for years?
Imagine if you and me, after this podcast gets, like, hella famous, you and me are just like, rah!
Yeah, I couldn't imagine that, dude. That would suck so bad because, like, I love you, dude. Mm-hmm. Like, I can't imagine being pissed off at you and, like, fighting in court over, like, I don't know, a numerical value.
Yeah, dude,
like,
that would suck.
It's stupid. I would never do that. I would just fist fight you in the parking lot.
Oh, great. Cool.
I'm just saying, bro, if we're going to tussle, like, I'm not going to do it in a courtroom. I'm just going to fight you in a parking lot.
Is that how it's going to
go? I mean, if it has to.
All right.
But it'll never come down to that.
Right. Because you'd be afraid to lose the fight.
Yeah, okay.
After Hayley Williams announced on Twitter that they were going to write their 5th album, as they were posting on social media, people were seeing Zach Farrow, their original drummer, in the studio with them. And despite the pictures, at the time, he had said that he was just going to be recording drums for the album. It says, though he later clarified that he would only be recording drums for the album and that he had not rejoined the band as a full member. Despite this, on February 2nd, 2017, the band announced Zach would return as the original drummer, or official drummer of the band. Then, in April 2017, they released Hard Times, my least favorite album, as the lead single from their After Laughter, which they announced would be released in May of 2017. Then they had their second release, which was Told You So, and then Fake Happy, and then in 2018 they had the music video for Rose Colored Boy. I don't even know that. And then Caught in the Middle, I don't know what that is either. And then this is interesting, and I talk to Ollie about this all the time. On September 7th, 2018, Hayley Williams announced during a concert that the band will play the song Misery Business for the last time for a really long time, mainly due to the line in the second verse that was perceived as sexist. That line, which isn't listed here in Wikipedia, but it was, once a whore, you're nothing more. I'm sorry, that will never change. Because of that, she no longer wants to sing their most popular song ever.
I mean, that's kind of fair, bro. If she doesn't want to come off like she's being sexist, then like
I get it.
I probably wouldn't do it either.
No, sweet. But like me as a performer and an entertainer, I would probably just be like, and let the crowd say, "What's a whore, you're nothing more," and then just bring the mic back and be like, "I'm sorry, that'll never change," you know? So that way I'm not actually saying it.
I mean, I get that, but it's like the principle behind it. You know what I mean?
I guess you're right. I just really love
like,
that song and want to hear it live.
Obviously, that song was written in like 2007, where it was a different generation.
Dude.
And I don't say generation, that's just for lack of a better term.
Right. It was just
it was
times.
a different type of life than it is now. Now we are into 2020, present day Paramore.
Yes.
And there's very little information. So they're being very
it's like 3 sentences.
On May 11th of this year, 2020, Hayley announced that a 6th album would see the group returning to their pop punk roots.
Thank God.
Which, thank God, that's awesome.
Oh my God, exactly.
Pop punk Paramore. But she was quoted saying that we found ourselves listening to a lot of older music that we grew up being inspired by. So, if that's not like an awesome like prediction of the future, like I'm so excited to hear that. That's gonna be awesome. I hope it's like their first 2 albums, because those 2 were like my favorite out of their collective like discography.
Which ones?
Their first 2.
I was reading. Oh yeah, dude, their first 2 are my favorites too.
Yeah.
I mean, the third one had some
Falling
good tunes too, but
right. Yeah, for sure. All right. So does that wrap up?
That is all the information that I have on Paramore.
Likewise.
I did want to get a little bit into, was Hayley and Josh ever in a relationship? I don't know. Do you guys have any information on that? Could you throw it in the comments for us? I would love to know.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. Moving forward with the channel, I would like to, and Ollie is going to confirm right now if he's into. I love throwing information at Ollie and just being like, here you go. Yes or no.
I hate it.
Live.
I hate it so much. I hate it. You can't just blindside me, bro.
I do
and
it
you
to
seem
him all
to do
the time.
it in every
I love
episode.
It. I do it every episode. So every episode, guys, just get ready for a blindside. It'll be like Ollie's blindside. So moving forward, I would love to bring a new band to all of you old emo kids that you might not find, without our help. You might be just chilling, listening to The Taste of Ink by The Used for the last 20 years, 10 years, 15 years. And, you might listen to that until you die. But luckily you have Ollie and I here who can give you new sources of music. So I think moving forward at the end of every episode, I want to give you guys a new band that sounds similar to something that you would have liked in 2004 to 10. Are you okay with that idea, Ollie?
Yes. Yep. I'm more than okay with that.
Cool.
That was not a bad blindside. I'm cool with that.
Cool. Are you okay with making a playlist on Spotify of each time that we do it, so that way people have a good playlist of new artists that we can introduce them to?
I am. Yeah, that's a very good idea. It's a very good idea. I think a lot of people would really like that because, one, not only are we like helping people find new music, but then like we've got it all collectively in one spot. So that's like perfect. I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it.
That's your thing. That's your words that you. Those are your words. You say that shit. I'm here for it. That's like when I edit this podcast, I hear you say, "I'm here for it." Like maybe like 4 times a podcast.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's better than me like cursing, which I've been way good about.
I don't think we cursed once on this episode.
No, I swore like 3 times in this episode.
Oh, I didn't
but
hear
it was never an F-bomb. It was
That's
always
all that
like
matters.
shit
As long
or
as
something.
it's not. Yeah, you can shit all you want.
Excellent. I feel like I've earned that as an adult.
The ability to shit whenever you want.
Whenever I'd like, yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for popping into Threemo. My name is Krue again, and this is...
I am Ollie Quinn, and this is your favorite emo podcast.
Wow, that sounded amazing. All right, guys.
Thanks.
Stay emo. Bye, guys.
So this is what it's like to die.